while, and basically I'm gonna rant about a lot of the issues of this game and a lot of what I think is a problem right now. First things first, get this over with. Joker's Wild, it's got Gambit Prime and all that. It's not super heavy story focus. Bungie has decided to put all the story focus into the big next expansion for this September, but honestly, I think that's alright. You know, not always the story has been great. A lot of people criticize it. But morally, I'm just really frustrated now with the state of this game. The game is, I love this game, it's amazing. It has so many good things, but also has so many bad ones. I think the content was morely Gambit focused, and they didn't think about the rest of the community. And Gambit is a pain sometimes because people solo queue. I solo queue, and it's frustrating because you got these teammates that are absolute potatoes who don't even know what they're doing. They're just, I just want to explode, okay? They don't know what they're doing. They're honestly throwing the match, and it's just frustrating. Then, you got the tryhards on the enemy team who just constantly invade. But that's Gambit Prime. Reckoning is not bad, it's just morally a horde mode, just kill enemies, get the job done, you're out, you get your rewards, boom. But, the one thing I don't like about this expansion is they brought in something completely brand new, and that is these bounties that will give you 640 power. These bounties basically give you extreme light level. Like, they basically let you... The bounties are meant for just to let you get into the expansion, into Gambit Prime. They're basically supposed to get you caught up with everyone else in the game. It's supposed to boost your light level to 640. Now, that sounds dandy, that sounds great, but it's not. Because a lot of people who grinded to 650, which was the max cap, their effort just went down the toilet. All the grinding they had done, all the time and effort they did on all three of their characters, getting them to 650, are now been thrown away because of those stupid blue bounties, when a noob can just easily get to 640. I honestly think that's the worst idea ever. But because Bungie, if you pay for expansion, you should be able to play it. Honestly, I don't care. It's their fault for not grinding and playing the game. It's not their fault for not playing the raid or trying. They get an easy light level. I honestly think that is the worst. All the time and effort the hardcore players put in is just thrown out in the garbage cans. And it's just so frustrating. People who put this time and effort to get to 650, it's just gone. But because Bungie, if you pay for your expansion, you should be able to play it. No, I don't think that's fair. That literally makes the entire community is angry about it. The time and effort for someone to get to 650 takes at least maybe 3 weeks. Average. 3 weeks average, a person to get to 650. That's doing every powerful mission. And they get to do it in one day. I don't think that's fair. But the most frustrating part is it takes so long to freaking grind the game out and get to the high max levels. And it's frustrating. Getting to 650 is extremely difficult in this game, and now we have to go to 700, which is 50 levels more. So that's another 3 weeks, and then you get to max light on probably one character. Yes, one character. Light level is only ever matters in pretty much Iron Banner and probably the Reckoning mode, and that's it. And I honestly think that's dumb. Like, Iron Banner is where all the sweaties are at, only using Luna's Howl, which is very cancerous right now. Luna's Howl is the pinnacle Crucible reward, and it's literally the easiest weapon to use. I have it. It's just a pain right now. Crucible, it's supposed to be like, you know, like after you've done all the end game content, all that, like, supposed to play, usually people play Crucible, they fight against each other, there's no room for other weapons to shine. Whenever I try to use a different weapon besides Luna's House, I literally lose all my KD. I die hundreds of times to Lunas and Supers, and that's it. That is Crucible right now. It's boring. Crucible is the worst. It's not fun anymore. It was fun when Luna's Howl, like, I felt special when I had Luna's Howl for the first time. No one else had it. Now everyone has it. It's just the worst. And then there's the content. See, in order to reach the 700 light, you have to get powerful gear. So you have to go to all the other places that use all the old content to get powerful gear. So you're basically repeating content, so then you can do new content. It's honestly very, very boring to repeat all the content. Every single content to get powerful gear. And that's not all. Sometimes you don't even get to, what is it? I'm trying to think now. It's just, you have to play old content, so then you can have the opportunity to play new content. And it's kind of dumb. It's just frustrating to play the game at its current state. The grind is annoyingly hard. Masterwork cores are just so rare. You can only get 2 a day from Spider. If you buy any more, it's just going to cost more legendary shards, so you're going to run out of resources like literally in a half a second if you buy any more Masterwork cores. You literally run out of your resources faster than you can earn them in Destiny. It's frustrating. And then just to see one person get to 640, it's dumb. It's like all your effort to get to 650 is just gone because they literally get a free light level. I understand Bungie was very skeptical right now, but it's frustrating to give money for a DLC. Honestly, I don't know what Bungie is doing right now. Their thought process, as well the quality of the DLCs recently, because recently I've been like, Black Armory was just terrible. Black Armory was probably the worst expansion yet. Black Armory did such a poor job. Yeah, it brought the Black Armory, you craft your own weapons, whatever, but they're randomly rolled, so you don't get to choose what the rolls are on the weapons. And doing those weapons are just so annoying. To craft those weapons are so annoying. You have to get the kills for the specific weapon. Then you have to you gotta get these Radiant Seeds. That's easy, just kill a few Ultras, that's not that bad. And then, usually you can finish it in the Forge, where you're crafting the weapon. And the dumb part about that Forge is that after you got all the Radiant Seeds, it tells you have to go back to the tower, back to Ada, so then she can let you craft the weapon when you go back to the Forge, which is just really, really dumb. It's the dumbest thing. Instead of just making it so you have to usually do a run around trying to get this weapon bounty done, then it tells you to go back to the tower, and then tells you to go back to the Forge. You could just finish the weapon all in the Forge. Instead you have to go back to Ada, which is just the dumbest thing. It's just a huge waste of time. You're just making a long run around, and the worst part is you have to deal with a loading screen. The loading screen from the damn tower is just so annoying. Then you have to walk back to the Forge, which is also annoying. It's just, you probably spent an hour trying to craft one weapon. And then you have to, and if you want to get a better roll, you have to go back to the tower, do the same crap all over again. It's just annoying. Black Armory, I was hoping Joker's Wild, maybe they would patch it and maybe make it so you don't have to go to Ada to get like the component, so then you can finish the gun instead of just letting you complete it all in one. But no, they didn't do any changes for that.
The sooner the better. We're hearing that sound on all sensors now.
Then
Feeling it too.
Then there's the nerf for all the weapons, like cluster bomb to a nerf, so now it's gonna be way harder to one-phase Riven. Now we gotta do it legit. It's already enough to grind enough. We have to do something legitimate now, instead of just cheesing Riven like we normally do. I just honestly think that Bungie's not thinking about what they're doing. And it's just so frustrating for the hardcore players who play this game all the time. They don't get rewarded for their time and effort. Instead, they just get crapped on every new expansion. The next expansion is probably going to give a bounty. It's going to make them like 680. Not 680, but like, yeah, 680. They're probably to come out in the next expansion, 680 bounty. And it's going to make all the people, the hardcore players, feel bad. Because what's the point of playing this game when you get a bounty that makes you literally the max light for that season?
Then we got a
no
problem.
point.
Those must have been transmitters, not the source. Ritual's still going. We're jittering up, down, and sideways over here. I feel sick. Keep it together, girl.
I honestly don't understand why Bungie has this mindset. Oh, they should be able to play the new content. I understand, but that's not how you should do it. I think people can still play the new content. They just struggle a lot more, and they should play the game more. But I don't like the fact that you would make it so much easier if you would increase the light level you earn from the powerful gear. Then people wouldn't have to grind so much. It'll be so much easier, and it was easier, but they freaking made it super hardcore that, oh, you have to work for so many hours trying to get light level, and it's frustrating for people. It takes literally me average like 3 days to finish all powerful gear missions. And then I have to do the raid, so that's like 4 days spent trying to get powerful gear, and then you have to wait.
Sloan, there's a
it's
giant
just so boring.
crystal in here.
It's frustrating just to play the game.
Neutralize it.
And every expansion usually they have a strike or a new crucible map. No, none of the expansions include any new crucible maps or new strike. Which honestly, I think that's really boring. Now bringing new crucible maps, and they hardly brought any exotics. But this expansion, they did bring 3 armor exotics, but that was it. Usually expansions, they give, I don't know, like a bunch of like armor exotics, and this one, no. But at least they brought some exotics. Thorn is coming out next week, and you have to be at least like 6 power just to do the mission, and it's a grinding mission as well. It's like, it's just frustrating to keep playing this game when everything you have to do is like super large amount of grinding.
He's singing like the crystal. Are they drawing power from each other?
And then the exotic drop rate's terrible, but you know, now Zercel's forsaking exotic, so yippee-ki-yay, everyone's gonna have a one-eye map very soon. That's gonna be great. Even though they nerfed it, everyone's gonna have it.
Again. Whatever you did, it
That's
worked.
a top tier exotic. No one's gonna take that off.
Stomach thanks you. Not a wild idea.
The only 2 exotics that Titans use are freaking one-eyed and
what do you say? Oh, you're a beaut,
insurmountable Skullfort, which they can just solar charge forever.
How
Warlocks, they keep getting nerfs for no reason.
Obviously.
Like Warlocks, they had an amazing super, and Bungie just nerfed it to the ground. So now Warlocks, we're back to stage 1 of Warlocks. Only Stormcaller and Dawnblade are good, which is just dumb. Hunters have probably the best neutral game as always. Frustrating that it is, they have the best neutral game. I understand Bungie also has I'm gonna go back to the Masterwork Core situation. I know they have bounties to get more Masterwork Cores, but it's honestly very boring to do because you have to go to different planets. You have to go to Lost Sector. You gotta kill this mini boss. It's just so tedious. It's boring. It's not like a fun grind. Like, there's better farming, there's like better things. Like in other games, they have like farming strategies like that are really easy and helps them get their materials that they need, the stuff that they need. But no, Destiny, you have to literally, farming is just, it's like a chore, a literal chore. It should be at least a little bit more fun to grind, but it's not. And this is why the game struggles. Grinding for powerful gear is boring. It's just honestly a frustration to the community. There's so many boring missions you gotta do. It just frustrates the community. And usually some of the missions that you gotta do, you have to wait. Like, right now I have to do a public event, but I have to wait 4 minutes for a public event to start. It's so boring to wait for 4 minutes. Why can't you just, like, we have the ability to activate public events instead of waiting every 4 minutes? Because it's honestly boring. I have to wait for the public event. I have to... And some of the powerful gear that I've been receiving hasn't been always the maximum light that's supposed to give me. I did the Crucible powerful gear and I didn't get any light level upgrades at all. I already have, like, it gave me like a chest piece that was like 657 light, and I already got a chest plate that's 657 light. So what's the point? I'm not going to infuse it into exotics because I'm probably going to get one stronger, and it's just... Right now, infusing any items that you like is so expensive, you can't even use what you want to use. There's no choices in armor. And the armor that you have, the armor that you like, the one that you work for perks, is so expensive to infuse. There's literally no point, like, I don't even bother trying to masterwork my armor to, like, maxed out. Because, first thing, there's some flaws with armor right now. Some of the armor doesn't have balanced stats, like resistance, recovery, and mobility. And Bungie doesn't let you rework that armor to have it with balanced stats like D2, Year 1 Destiny. But no, they didn't want to do that, so I can infuse the armor that I like to have perfect rolls, so then I can actually put actual good mod components, because you want to have super mod components so then you can get your super faster and it's a lot easier. But Bungie doesn't want the community to do that because they have really bad stat armor, but the perks are great. That's what I use my armor for the perks, like increased hand cannon loader, like all that kind of stuff. It's just silly. And the armor that you like and you want to invest your time into, it's just too expensive to infuse because you have to use Masterwork cores. And Masterwork cores, they hardly drop when dismantling from legendaries. And Masterworking weapons take 17 Masterwork cores, which you hardly get. You can only get 2 per day from Spider, so 2 times 7 equals 14. It takes at least 2 weeks to fully masterwork a weapon. Armor, it goes by tiers, and the last tier, I think it's like 5 masterwork cores, so for a full set of armor to be fully masterwork, it's gonna cost 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 25 masterwork cores, unless it has the tier 4 on. But it probably costs more than that. It probably costs like 40 to 50 masterwork cores to masterwork a full set of armor. And that's just dumb. And where are you going to get those masterwork cores? Never, because they're so hard to get. Everyone in the community hates the system. And then they brought back the material system, which everyone hates. You have to get materials to infuse armor, you have to get masterwork cores, you gotta get shards, you gotta get glimmer, and it's just so expensive. It literally, unless you have the same piece of armor, you wouldn't have to, the only time you don't have to, like, spend so much material is if you get the same armor piece for the masterwork. That is it. If you get the same bond, and it has higher light, you can infuse it with just glimmer. That's it. But that doesn't fix the problem. It's just honestly just a disappointment. And then there's missions in this game that it takes too long to do. Like Blind Well, you need to do it for powerful gear, and there's hardly any people playing Blind Well. They're playing other pieces of content in this game. Everyone's spread out, and there's hardly anyone playing this game as well. So it's very hard to play Blind Well and get the powerful gear to get stronger. So you're basically stuck. You're at that like waiting for people on LFG to do it, and you hardly find people on LFG sometimes because they either did Blind Well or they don't want to do it because Blind Well is just boring. And Blind Well gives you powerful gear if you do tier 4 on the first every week. If you do every week tier 4, you'll get one piece of powerful gear, and if you do it twice that week, you'll be done. You'll get your Blind Well bounty done. You can go offer it the Oracle, but no.
Then teach them a new lesson.
It's just very frustrating to play the game at its current state. You hardly get Master Course, and as well, usually they used to give you when you ranked up in Crucible, when you reach Legend rank in your Valor, they used to give you like I think 10 Masterwork cores or 7, and they don't do that anymore, which even hurts even more. So those triple Valors are basically, there's no point of playing Crucible now to get Masterwork cores. And then there's the bounties, some of the bounties are really annoying to do. It is frustrating. They did a lot of good things in Forsaken, but right now, like, Destiny is struggling in the worst department. They nerf everything because it's too strong. They nerf everything that's good in this game. They don't buff anything. Like they nerfed Ikelos, and now the game, like I understand it's like the go-to thing, then buff the other weapons then. Make them have almost the same DPS as an Ikelos. They allow room for choice, but no, they don't buff them. Instead, they think, oh, let's just nerf stuff. Like right now, shotguns are way better to use than snipers, because snipers in V1, you didn't have to flinch so much in freaking PvE content. Like, I flinch all the time when I'm using snipers in PvE content. They're just so unpractical, they're not fun to use, they're just... They take too much effort and time and skill to just use, so I'd rather use a shotgun, which is way more easier. They nerfed that. They nerfed cluster bomb rockets because of Riven Cheese, which was really dumb. Because that didn't solve anything, because everyone could just use Prospector, and because the grenade launcher buff, that they could just kill Riven anyway, with even more heat.
Two walkers. How do you like that?
Honestly, it's dumb. Eververse is dumb.
An extremely successful sortie.
Good timing, because that Ingram just spawned in. Eververse is dumb. The armor you get from the Eververse is at low light level, but you can infuse it. But the crappy part is that armor you get from the Eververse is trash, because it's random rolls, so you're never going to get a good roll on those armor. So I don't understand why they get a good roll set of armor for the Vanguard Dare armor for my Hunter. I couldn't get a good roll set of armor, because Bungie doesn't want to let you re-roll the armor with the perks or something. It's just dumb.
My friend?
More problems and issues. Like, there's people who are trying to get collections, all the armor for all the planets. They can't, because you have to spend materials to get her leveled up. Originally, it used to be coins. But you get, you get arcane dust if you do their bounties. But honestly, I don't want to do the bounties because they're super boring. Like, bounties are just boring and just... Like, why do I have to farm materials? Everyone hates farming for materials in this game because farming for materials is not fun. Like, they could have just made it so you get materials for... Like, they give you so very little in materials. Like, honestly. Like if you sometimes when you open chests, they only give you a little bit of materials. You spend around like 30 to get some of the materials that you need for this game. Look, just two materials from that one chest. Some of the activities only give you like 5, and you spend for an infusion cost like 30 materials, sometimes 50. Like, you're spending more materials than you're earning. And yes, you can buy it from the spider, but the spider isn't cheap. He makes you blow through all your glimmer, and if you want to get glimmer back, you have to give him your legendary shards that you're going to need for infusion. So it's just a huge contradiction. You're just wasting more than you're earning. I remember legendaries dropping like crazy. Exotics used to drop from public events. Like, all these good things used to drop, and now they're dropping anymore because Bungie made the game way too hardcore. I think they overdid the hardcore aspect. I think they need to fix some of the hardcore issues in the game. They need to give you more light level for powerful gear, because you're wasting your infusion materials, and then probably 5 minutes later, after you work so hard to infuse, you're probably gonna get something stronger, because you want to use gear that you want to use. I grind for my gear. I should use it, but I can't because it lowers my light level, because I can't infuse it because it's expensive. Honestly, which is just dumb. And they don't allow you to re-roll the armor to improve the system at all. It's just frustrating, and I'm very tired of it. A lot of the people in the community hate the Masterwork system. Like, I know they're called enhancement cores, but they're Masterwork cores, same thing. They're still Masterwork cores, they just have a different name. Like, I thought they were gonna separate, like, Masterwork cores with maybe infusion cores, but no, they didn't. Enhancement cores is the same thing as Masterwork cores, so it's just like, they could have just put, like, Masterwork cores for weapons and Masterwork core, enhancement cores for armor, but no. They could have put 2 currencies, and the subside, like, you get both currencies equal amount of times, but no, they didn't do that. They didn't do any of that. Everyone hates the infusion system right now. It's just, everyone hates it. Like, you didn't have to hardly spend any materials for infusion at all. And now the gunsmith takes 25 weapon parts. No, not takes like 100 weapon parts instead of 25. Now, like you used to like hardly take any of your weapon parts. Now you hardly get anything back. Like, you have to spend 100 weapon parts to get a weapon from the gunsmith. Like, that's highway robbery. I'd rather spend 20 like I used to and get more randomable weapons, but you hardly can. It's so hard to get god rolls, and then you can actually do better in PvE and PvP content, but no. But PvE and PvP content doesn't even matter anymore because people only use Lunas because it's the best gun. In Crucible, like 3 headshots, you're dead. There's no point. And now we have the Recluse, which has even better time to kill than Luna's Howl. So there's a lot of problems in this game, and Bungie is not addressing them. They're super quiet in the community. They don't let you. They don't fix the issues. Like, everyone is complaining about the armor problem right now. Like, infusion and not be able to reroll armor, the stats, like at least mobility and recovery and resilience.
Guardian.
Because
Up for it?
what is the point?
You
have, if you don't have 5 resilience in Crucible, you're dead. You're honestly dead.
They must really love this spot.
Because
the hive do require precise
if you don't have enough resilience, you just get melted in Crucible. You get melted by everything. It's almost impossible to masterwork armor. It's way too expensive. There's no point, there's no room for the other mods in the game. Like, I would love to have a grenade near mod on my armor, but I can't because my armor has really unbalanced stats, so I have to use like mobility armor, like mobility first on my armor so I can keep my stats like pretty equal.
Another day, another night.
But no, not anymore.
Another demoralizing defeat for the Hive. I've lost count of your victories, but I know there will be many more.
6 material, that was it. Chest, probably not gonna give me any. That only gave me 4 material. And public events happen every 4 minutes, so basically never gaining any resources. Honestly, the game is in a really turmoil struggle right now. It's frustrating to play the game because you hardly find people to do some of the content. You got so many other issues like the enjoyment of the game. Like, it's impossible to take step in foot in Crucible without a sweaty hunter with freaking shards of Galanor and a Titan with one eye mask. Like, literally, I don't understand why they keep nerfing Warlocks when they struggle the most in Crucible. Like, I was hoping for D2 that they actually balance the game and allow every class to compete in equal standpoint. Like, Hunters should, and Titans and Warlocks should all have an, you know, a fair one-on-one fight, duels, but they don't. Hunters usually beat Warlocks and Titans usually beat Warlocks. Like, all the classes, Hunter and Titan usually annihilate the Crucible scene. They don't fix that. Don't fix the issues. I'm honestly frustrated in the game right now, and the issues with it. It just frustrates me so much. I'll rant some more later, but I think I talked enough on some of the issues.